I was quite excited. I think I had submitted last year to Animal Tales, and I had nothing accepted, and I think it's because I wrote about kitties or something lame, or I don't know what I wrote about. I can't remember what I submitted. But I said I'm going to try to do things about different kinds of animals because, you know, they probably don't get many, you know, stories about whales and penguins submitted to them, so why don't I try? And one of the poems I did that I'm going to share with you is actually called Ocean's Call to Dive, and I'm going to read it from this book, Animal Tales 13, from the 2019 book. And if you want to know what Ocean's Call to Dive is, it is the cover of this book. It is the cover of this book. So I'm like, I might as well show it to you. It is the cover of this book, and this poem is based on what you're seeing on this cover. It's called Ocean's Call to Dive. The gentoo penguins run down the mountains to the rocky edge overlooking the Southern Ocean. They get into a single file at the edge. One jumps in, then another, then another, then a dozen more. The last penguin in the line gets up to that edge after all the other penguins dove into the Southern Ocean. The last penguin steps back and forth on his feet in place, turns around, looks at the mountain, rocks once, steps in place twice, looks back to the water, looks back again, and then turns into the salt water and just dives in. By the way, I have to show it. Somewhere in here there is a picture that I think is the best meme. Oh, I found it. This is a meme like, I'm sorry, buddy. Let's go have a drink at the corner bar. It'll be okay. It looks like the one's got his... I'm like, they're not near, they're not even near each other, but it just looks like, come on, let's commiserate something, buddy. Anyway, sorry, I said I showed that photo. I had said that I'd write something, read something about Germany for you, and I wrote this poem on John's birthday over there. But that's not really a holiday, but it also happens to be Wernher von Braun's birthday, who was in the SS. Who then was brought over by the US and helped us build rockets to get a man to the moon. So I thought on this day I would write this poem. And it's called Escaping the Atmosphere Any Way We Can. After jumping out of an airplane and watching the Tetons from above, I wanted John, the man I love, who was born on March 23rd, to get this feeling like you're fighting the atmosphere in free fall. It's like no other feeling in the world. And then I thought about another man, also born on March 23rd, who had dreams of breaking past that atmosphere altogether. And in his time, the only way he could do this was to build rockets for the SS and dream of the moon. It's strange to believe that Wernher von Braun was a rocket engineer in Berlin during the turbulent 30s and 40s, so he became a part of the SS and was the head of Hitler's dream plan to build the perfect vengeance rocket. And from what I hear, von Braun did the work for Nazi Germany, but he also loftily talked about sending a rocket to the moon. Don't go around talking like that, I'm sure they say to him, and so he dreamed until the Nazi collapse. So the States swooped him up in the budding Cold War, and von Braun even met with President Kennedy to comment and dream, and that they worked on the then Saturn V rocket and Apollo manned missions to the moon. And okay, maybe I only jumped from an airplane. Maybe John is fighting gravity in a wind tunnel, and that's not landing on the moon. But cut us some slack. Wernher von Braun didn't land on the moon either. But this man, born on March 23rd, helped us get all to where we are today. Sounds like I have to clap. That was on my birthday. This one is a poem that was from my Pharaoh Memes book. And I said, I don't want a picture of Manna, so I thought I'd take my kindergarten picture and my class school picture. It seemed to stop looking at my mug. I'll show you me as a kid. This is a poem called Learning How Love Lasts. On Valentine's Day, 4 days before their wedding date, as only a little girl, I would see that box of chocolates Dad brought for Mom. Thinking about it then and now, I thought that this was just a box of generic holiday attempts at affection. Years later, as I finally compiled my family tree, now centuries old, I'd find occasional old photos of my mom and dad, wedding photos, black and white photos, posing with friends, photos of them on a cruise, even meeting Rod Serling back when his TV show The Twilight Zone was at its peak. Once I was grown, moving on my own, I asked my mother if I could have some of her old cocktail dresses that she wore over the years with Dad. Absolutely gorgeous little black dresses that you could see models wear back in the day on the runway. She gave me a few of those dresses, but she also gave me a few pieces of her jewelry, including a gold ring with an ankh on it, after she explained to me that Dad gave her this ring and told her that the ankh, this ankh, was given as a symbol of his, of everlasting life, and of his everlasting love for her. My religious friends and family may have had issue with my wearing this pagan ring, but to me, the ring was only about love. As is the necklace that my dad gave my mom, that I was thrilled with when she gave to me. It's a single gold pendant on a gold chain, a disc as big as a silver dollar, and inscribed on it are his words written with the words from Robert Browning poem. Come, dear, grow old with me. The best is yet to be. I think of these things after she passed away and how I could spend time with my dad because he couldn't fathom spending a single night alone in their home without her. I once even traveled with him on his weekend gambling trips because he couldn't fathom staying in a hotel alone. His son couldn't make it, so I guess I'd be happy to join. Taking a break from watching him playing cards and playing slot machines, I stepped outside to enjoy the sun by the water near the casino side entrance. And eventually, a supervisor walked over to ask me if I was okay. I realized that she was concerned that I might be feeling suicidal, standing here alone near the water below instead of gambling, because I may have just lost everything. It was a sweet concern from the casino, as well as a good effort to cover the casino's bases, but there was no need to worry. Not now. I wasn't gambling. I'm just here to make my dad feel better, because his one love is no longer with him. I couldn't be with Dad when he passed away, but I was told that as he was approaching the end, his last words he said was that he couldn't wait to see her again. I just hope that thought, seeing her again, put him at peace when he closed his eyes that final time.